Hello and welcome back to the Cosmic Engine for another Eternal Crusade update. I really should give a name to this show. In fact, if you want to leave a suggestion for a name for the show, leave it in the comment section below and I will choose one to actually use. Anyway, the Orc boys are here. The playable clans of the Orc faction have now been announced, and they include the Goths, Death Skulls, Evil Sons and Bad Moonz. So just who are the Orcs in the Warhammer 40k universe? Well, the Orcs were actually created by an extinct alien race known as the Old Ones, and they were created for the single purpose of fighting the Necrons and their Satan masters in a conflict known as the War in Heaven. Now, Orcs themselves are genetically engineered for combat. Their actual build-up, makeup of their biological being is that they share a symbiotic physiological and genetic relationship with fungi. Now, this is also how they reproduce. Throughout an orc's life, they release spores into the environment, and these spores then burrow underground and create a plant-like womb, eventually creating more orcs. This also makes them extremely difficult to get rid of a planet. Even after a orc invasion is defeated, at the moment of death, an orc releases a massive amount of spores into the surrounding area. Even without a nearby orc population on the planet, these spores and fungus will eventually start the whole orc life cycle anew on the planet. Now, an interesting trait about the orcs is that they don't have individual psychic abilities. They instead have a kind of collective psychic ability, meaning that if enough orcs are gathered in one place and they believe something to be true, it will often become true because of their belief. Their belief activates their collective psychic ability, and that psychic ability will make it so. Now, for example of this is the well-known orc phrase when shooting a weapon, "Daka Daka." Now, the orcs will stand there pointing their weapons and go, "Daka Daka 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 Daka." And what happens is they actually believe that when saying that, the bullets fly out faster, and because of their psychic ability, what ends up happening is that they don't even need to pull the trigger because their psychic ability will just fire the bullets for them and use the gun. So a gun can be in complete disrepair, but if they believe it to work, and if they believe that the bullets will fire from the gun often enough, it will happen anyway. So anyway, let's get on with the specific clans that have been announced in-game. So first off are the Goths. Now, the Goths are the largest and most aggressive of the green screen orc clans. The Goths tend to focus on melee combat and often specialise in melee forms of combat. They are fond of hand-to-hand combat. They love to get up and close and personal with their enemy. Goths usually boast large numbers of orc knobs and storm boys. The banner of the Goths, as you've seen, features their clan totem, which is the bull, and Goth whelps often perform a ritual by where they put on helmets with large bull horns and they will charge at each other. They will just keep charging until one of them either gives in or dies. Secondly is the Death Skulls. Now, the Death Skulls are the loot whores of the Orc clans. They love the shinies, and they are completely dedicated to stealing and plundering. That's what they love. It is said that they would make capable orc scientists if only they had the attention span, or a attention span. And Death Skulls really like to basically kill their enemies quick and savour plundering their bodies and the corpse, savouring all the loot that they get from their defeated enemy. Once their looting is complete, they'll take it all back to their camp, and then that's when the battle for ownership begins and all the infighting. To declare ownership of an item, what happens is they will often paint it blue to match their war paint, which they themselves dip their bodies head to toe in. And the reason that they do this is that they believe the colour blue attracts the favour of their gods Gork and Mork, and thus brings them luck. So yes, if you're a fan of the Death Skulls, you will no doubt want to be playing a Death Skull looter. Next up are the Evil Sons. Now, the Evil Sons are an orc clan who have a serious need for speed. The Evil Sons have adopted the motto that red uns go faster. Due to this belief, they paint their vehicles in red paint, and they dip themselves in red armour and red paint as well. The Evil Sons love loud noises and fast vehicles, and as such, they prize possessions like orc war bikes, war buggies, trucks, all the kind of fast mechanised vehicles. Now, along with these fast mobile warbands, they actually boast a large number of mech boys who tend to keep all these vehicles in check and running. Now, last up, but by certainly no means least, are the Bad Moonz. Now, the Bad Moonz are the richest of all the Orc clan. Bad Moonz essentially fill the role of merchants in Orc society, and they are major show-offs. The Bad Moonz have a reputation for knowing information that most Orcs have no practical use for. They, unlike other clans, they have a lust for knowledge and wealth. They love the shinies, put it that way. And they have actually even been known to take part in highly secret deals with other alien races to get war gear and possessions that aren't available to other Orcs. Now, as I've said, the Bad Moonz are big show-offs, and they love to dress themselves in gold and war gear and plenty of jewellery. Now, of course, this tendency towards flamboyancy should never be seen as a weakness. After all, under all that gold war gear and massive amounts of jewellery is still one tough Orc. And that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I will continue to bring Eternal Crusade information as and when it comes, and I will see you next time.